Hello, and welcome to the Fans Corner. It's been a what a week. We didn't do one last week, did we, Fred?
I think it's been 2 weeks, to be honest.
Might have been, yeah, 2 weeks. It's been a long
Yeah, 'cause we
time.
recorded one, but it didn't go out. Editorial cut.
Yeah, that was it. But no, glad to have you with us again. You can already tell. Join with Fred. Fred, how's it going, mate?
Yeah, it's not too bad. Not too bad. Getting out of lockdown once again. Pubs or inside will be opening soon. Everything's what is it? May 17th. Start
Yeah.
getting crowds back. So that's good for the boxing. They haven't really released any ticket details, have they? For boxing events. They've
There's
done
not
it
really
well.
been any events that have been released, like for the apart
No.
from there's not been one event that I've seen apart from the Anthony Joshua Fury one where there could be
Yeah.
possibly a full house or a lot of tickets, but
Mm.
we'll have to see. But we go straight into the topic. You touched on fans being stadium, AT&T Stadium out in Dallas, absolute jam-packed full house.
Mm.
And you had Canelo beat Saunders via an 8th round retirement on his stall due to a quadruple eye socket break. Now, there's been a lot of controversy whether Mark Tibbs and Billy Joe Saunders, the whole corner, did the right thing of pulling him out. Personally, I think he did the best thing. He could have gone blind from the injury, and I know there's been stuff that Saunders, when Daniel Dubois did his iron and Saunders slagged him off for that, but
Yeah.
when you're in a situation like that, you don't know how it feels. You don't know how much it hurts, and so I believe it was the right decision because it saved his career if he wants to go on and box, more, because it's such a bad injury. But yeah, what was your thoughts on that, Fred?
Yeah, it's obviously it wasn't kind of a long injury, was it? It kind of happened 1 minute left of the round.
Yeah,
He punched it, it obviously went, and then in the corner they ended it. So it was quite a quick thing. That's why I think
yeah,
people are so kind of up in arms about it, because it wasn't like he had to fight a lot with it or take a lot of damage with it. It was just as soon as he did it, straight out.
yeah.
But
I know.
I think if it's difficult to, as a trainer, to go back out there and send him out there. I'm sure Billy Joe would have done, but I just don't think. What would have happened afterwards? To be fair, because I don't think he would have won the fight anyway.
Listen, yeah, for me, he was up by a round. I had him up by a round going into that 9th round. He didn't win the 8th round, but I had him up by. I think I had him up by a round. But if you can't see, and you're going out for the next round with the pound for pound best fighter in the world, no doubt about it. At the moment, he's the best fighter in the world. It's not a risk you run. People can't beat him with 2 eyes, let alone one. You don't. That's the type of shit that forces fighters into retirement. I see. Do you remember the Olympian Anthony Ogogo?
Yeah,
he had a lot of issues with his eye, and I think it was an IFL interview with him, and he was offering, some of the specialist eye treatment where he got his eye done. He had to retire early because his eye. I think I don't know what happened. It might have been
he had a fight recently, didn't he? With
Nah, I don't think so.
No, I'm sure he did, because I remember he came back for a fight. I'm sure he came back for one last kind of.
No, he's a fucking wrestler.
Was it? Oh, maybe he didn't. Oh, fair enough. I'm thinking of someone else.
No, last fight he did was 2016, but now he's a wrestler for the AEW, All Elite Wrestling, on TNT.
I can't remember who I'm thinking of then, because I know there's a British boxer that came back after. He was kind of in the social media stuff, and then he came back and got messed up by someone else. But no, that's not the point. But
yeah,
it's dangerous.
I love. Yeah, it's everyone's moaning and saying, "Oh, he could have carried on." If you were in that situation, you wouldn't have carried on. I know I wouldn't have carried on.
Yeah,
because one, it would have hurt too much, and two, you're running the risk of, if he would have gone out there, obviously with one eye, he could have been badly hurt. He could have been not clean out, etc. It's just not a risk that you run. But anyway, that's my opinion. But I think that's a lot of people's opinions too. But it's a divide of this. But another thing that really wound me up was Chris Eubank Jr. What an absolute bellend. Have you seen the videos of him?
I've seen a couple of clips, yeah.
Oh mate, what's a bellend? He lost to Saunders, and then he's still trying to stay relevant.
Yeah.
And putting on a 10 grand bet. It's like, and then filming the TV and laughing. What he's got something to film the TV while he's laughing. He's like, yeah, mate, listen, when Saunders loses, film this TV, all right? Film me laughing, put it out on Twitter because it's gonna blow up. I don't care if anyone calls me this and that. I don't care. I've never liked Chris Eubank Jr. He tries to be like his dad too much, and that annoys me.
Yeah, he comes across as fake. I always felt that with him. Just a bit.
He's unbearable.
Cover. Yeah, you never see the real.
He's unbearable. He's so arrogant as well. Like yeah, okay, fair enough. You've got a rival who's been beaten, but show some fucking respect, man. Do you know what I mean? You lost to him. You would never have the chance to fight Canelo because you're shit. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying I'm a boxer, but compared to Saunders took you to school, and you're laughing at him when he's got a serious eye injury against Canelo, but let him be him and let him do whatever he wants to do. But
we can capture this. Harry calls out Chris Eubank Jr.
No, it just winds me up when fighters just don't have any respect.
Yeah, it's definitely, especially with characters like him. I mean, you could even say it for Billy Joe Saunders in some respects. He's done it before.
Yeah, of course, but you wouldn't. I don't think you'd see Billy Joe Saunders laughing. So maybe behind closed doors, but not get a camera out and put it on his social media. I know some of the shit he's done is probably worse than that, but
yeah, all the drop the knee. That video was something.
Oh Christ, yeah, and what about when he pulled over the bloke? That's just shoot naked. We've got a suspect. You've got a gun, and he made the bloke.
Oh, I forgot about that one. Yeah,
remember that one?
I forgot about that. But yeah, I know. He's
told a crackhead to bang some random bloke in the head. Do you remember that one?
I don't remember that.
She's asking, she's like, you got any crack or whatever? And he goes, oh, I'll give it to you for free if you come over there. He's a nonce. And she punched him in the head, and he's looking there. So what's going on? But no, I just think he's disrespectful to what he's done, but some people
he's just trying to get another fight, ain't he?
Of course he is. Of course he is. He did, by the sound of it, he didn't get paid too much for that Morrison fight, and he's trying to get himself a paycheck. Fair enough, but it's kind of a bit too far. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He won't fight. Imagine Chris Eubank Jr. in there with Canelo.
Well, I mean, you say you can't. I mean, he beat Yildirim, didn't he? And Yildirim somehow managed to get.
Yeah, but Yildirim was a mandatory. If Saunders is, I couldn't see it happening just being made. But if he was a mandatory, or if there was a lot of drama between them, then yeah, I can see it happening. But other than that, the only way I could see it would be him being a mandatory. Which I don't know where he's in the governing bodies, etc. That's his
then
first
he's just
fight
got to fight bums, really, hasn't he? Just fight bums until you make it.
But nevertheless, an eventful night. Decent undercard as well. You had Elwin Soto retain his WBO light flyweight title against Takayama by a 9th round TKO. That was a bit of a weird fight, that, because Soto kept hitting him. He'd hit him.
Yeah.
And this Takayama, he's got like a granite chin, and like he'd wobble a bit, but then he'd carry on fighting. And he was losing the fight by like 6 rounds, but he was like Ollie shuffling around the ring and shit. It was brilliant. It was so good. After the fight got called off, he stood in the middle of the ring and started like throwing combinations. And I was like, oh,
after he lost.
Yeah, yeah.
He's
Because
a,
the fight,
yeah, he's a
the fight.
Japanese legend, that guy.
Yeah, I think he's their first two white world champion or something like that. Something I remember the
Yeah.
design concept was saying, but no, he's a bit of a legend. But I think that's his last fight they were saying. But I think he's come out of retirement 3 times. So and come out of
Still getting
retirement
the
for
world
that
title
fight,
shots.
obviously. But no, definitely a character, and it was a pretty entertaining fight,
Mm.
without a doubt. On top of that, you had Suleiman Sissoko win the WBO Intercontinental Super Welterweight title against Kieran Conway via a split decision. I think it must have been the 10th. Sissoko, Conway dropped Sissoko. It was an uppercut, but you watch the replay and it hit him right in the eyeball, and Sissoko went down, and then obviously in pain, got up. And Conway was throwing punches at him, but it was like, if that was me, I'd just stuck on him, thrown everything I got because he was losing the fight. I don't think he won a round. So
You say that I saw one of the judges gave it.
oh no, yeah, not yeah,
Like,
97, 92, mate.
yeah,
You always have that's because that's what I was saying. If Saunders went to the scorecard of Canelo, he wouldn't have won the fight, even if he would have won every single round. Canelo would have won that fight because the score
yeah. Well,
judges would have
that's what I was
gone
saying.
through.
It's just, I mean, remember the Golovkin #1 fight? I think arguably you could say he won the second fight, but the first fight, it was just they had to give it a draw because Canelo or because Golovkin won it that well, and they couldn't just give it to Canelo, so they had to say, well, this draw. And it does kind of, we've said it many times, haven't we? It puts a dampener on the sport, and it makes you
It
think, well,
makes
what's
it
the
chugging
point
for a
of
bit, doesn't it?
yeah, what's the point of watching it when it's rigged anyway?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you don't want to be watching a fight and
Know the score
see
already,
see
or
an
know
out yeah see an outcome that's not realistic.
yeah,
So, but yeah, Suleiman Sissoko beat Kieran Conway by a split decision, and then you had the Davis brothers also pick up wins, and Mark Castro also got the win. Now, moving on to this weekend, I'm not too sure about this card. It's a decent card. I don't know if I'll be watching the full card, but I'll certainly be watching the main event and the co-main. You got Joshua Buatsi versus Dos Santos. They're both unbeaten. I'm pretty sure it's for a WBO Intercontinental title. One of them, I think, for the light. He's light heavyweight. So that'll be an interesting fight. What do you think of that one, Fred?
Well, I think Buatsi's a great fighter, but I don't know, this guy he's fighting doesn't seem like any sort of quality. Like, he seems like they've just plucked him in, looked at undefeated fighters so they can sell the fight, really. But is he really that good? I'm not too sure.
Yeah, it'll be
It's
interesting to see.
it's a difficult one because you never really know unless, like with him, he's coming from France, isn't he? Their domestic scene. So
I think France. Some gamble thing.
Yeah.
Brazil or Germany? I think France. Back to that.
Yeah, lost my train of thought there.
Bit of a weird
Yeah,
analogy.
but Buatsi's yeah, who is this guy? Pretty much, he's a nobody, and the French scene isn't that good, is it? Let's be honest.
No.
I suppose if you're undefeated, you have to have something about you, don't you? So I don't think
Yeah,
it'll be
of
a
course.
walk in the park, but Buatsi should have enough to kind of just sweep him under the carpet, really.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think Buatsi will learn from his previous fight where he got, let's say, beat, but he had an actual fight for once. This bloke, I can't remember what his name. Oh, what was his name? It was like Krukic, something like that. I think he's Croatian, but
Yeah,
he did his iron and that, but that was a good fight. And I think he will learn from that fight, take it on board in this fight. I think that the Santos has only beat French journeyman. So it'll be an interesting fight, without a doubt. Always is with two unbeaten fighters, but be interested to see what he brings to the table. But we've got a lot of European fights on this undercard. Lerone Richards versus Giovanni De Carolis for the European super middleweight title, vacant super middleweight title. Do you think Lerone Richards can pull this off? I personally don't know too much about Giovanni De Carolis, but
is it Lerone's
like,
first fight on Matchroom?
No, he had. I think he had his first fight at Fight Camp.
Yeah. Wait, under the Billy Joe Saunders Murray card.
Might have been. Yeah, so that was it. Yeah.
I do remember when they announced it because it was quite a big pull for, coup's probably not the right word, but they kind of stole him from Frank Warren, didn't they? Yeah. He was one of the most promising fighters there. And now he's on Matchroom cards. I think he's got a bright future. He's 14-0. He's fought a few British, good fighters. The likes of Tommy Langford, Lennox Clark.
Decent.
A few of them type of boxers. So he's not just fought journeyman, but again, it's another step up for him. So whether he can kind of, or maybe not a step up, but another challenging bout against this Giovanni geezer.
Giovanni bloke down the pub. He goes and knocks him out.
Like most journeymen, you do think they've just gone from the pub. Because I've never heard this guy. He's 28-9, and he's got a shot at the.
We didn't hear with Mauricio Lara. He walked in absolutely stamped on Josh Roy, didn't he?
Mexicans and Italians are very different. I wouldn't like to fight Mexicans. Italian, I'd take them on, but.
No, I know what you mean. The Mexicans are cut from a different cloth, 100%. But you just can't put anything past anyone at the moment, can you? With all the stuff that, it was, obviously I know Mexicans, but last weekend on the Parker Gisora card with James Tennyson, I thought he was going to take that title and got knocked out in the first round, didn't he? So listen, as we all know, boxing is an unpredictable sport, but we love it for that. Moving on, Gamal Yafai is taking on Jason Cunningham for the European Super Bantamweight title.
Is it Steve Cunningham's brother?
I don't know. To be honest with you.
Surely not you. Nah, surely not.
I don't know about you, but I don't know why. It felt like Gamal Yafai's been around forever.
Yeah. Was he the one that fought? Or was it his brother that fought? I can't remember his name now. Chocolatito.
Yeah, Kai Yafai fought.
Oh, it's Kai.
Chocolatito.
Yeah, they're both good fighters. Jamal Yafai's only loss was to Gavin McDonnell, and that was in 2018. So, whether he's still kind of,
he won the other. I think he won the other day. Yeah, in Italy.
McDonnell.
Yeah.
No, I think he lost. I think he got knocked out. I know he drew.
Oh, okay.
He drew it out there.
Fighting, I kind of guessed.
Yeah, I remember watching. I think he didn't look too good, to be honest.
No.
But yeah, I don't. Looking at Jamal's record, he's not really fought anyone good, has he?
No, of course not.
So it's a bit of a. Is he going to do that well? Even if he gets European, is he a bit like McDonnell that's only going to reach that European level?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's a bit kind of, it's a dampener when you're kind of looking at fights and you're like, well, this guy can only fight at this level. He'll never be anything special, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the one thing about the lower weights. At heavyweight, you hear, of course, Eddie Hearn always talking out, but when Dave Allen was around, Derek Shore, a few knockout wins in his next few fights, and he's in world title contention. But at these kind of levels, you never really have that opportunity because knockouts rarely happen. So it's all about your ability.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's not. I wouldn't say it's not fair, but it's something that the heavyweight division has got over the lower weight divisions. Because personally, as I've said it before, I'd much rather watch a heavyweight. Because I always love it if there's a heavyweight. For instance, Canelo Saunders. I wish that fight there was a heavyweight fight that just ended in
Frank Sanchez.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, that was it.
What happened in that fight? I didn't actually see it.
Sanchez. I think Sanchez hit the other bloke round the head. Like, he literally tapped him round the head. You know, like when there's a right hook coming, but like he took it around and caught him on the back. Literally just caught him on the back of the head. This bloke's gone down like he's been shot. Right. He's got up, he's got up and he's obviously just dropped his legs again, and he's like, oh no, I can't continue. And then they went to the scorecards and they gave it to Sanchez. So it was like this bloke was like screaming like
the fight halfway through.
Yeah, actually to call it off. He said, I can't continue. He got tapped on the back of the head, and he's literally rolling around like he literally had his head cut off or something. Like,
God.
How can you be a boxer and flop on the floor like that?
Apparently, he had a confrontation with Tyson Fury afterwards.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, apparently so. I knew that it was he's one of Eddie Rednose's, ain't he?
Yeah.
But the Tyson Fury in WBL. What are you doing that for, pal? You're really hurting there. I'll fight you in the backyard.
But no, it's just a bit of embarrassment to the sport.
Sorry, what was you saying first? I totally forgot now.
I don't know, what was it? Oh yeah, heavyweight. Yeah, no, what I'm saying was I'd rather before the main event there'd be a heavyweight fight. It's probably like some tactics to it or something, but you guaranteed a knockout. So then I can see the Canelo Saunders fight quicker. Do you know what I mean? Like that Soto fight, it was okay. It was a good fight, but just wanted to end. Every round the bloke would get rocked. I think, this time he's going to do it. He's going to do it. When that referee called it off, I was like, yes, come on, like.
It's all over.
But no, going back to this card. I could see Gamal fight putting through.
Yeah. And, that's one thing I forgot to mention about the Canelo stuff. There's apparently a lot of fights going around the arena.
Is there?
Yeah, I heard about it, and I don't know whether you saw, but the Andy Ruiz Jr. fight a few weeks ago had a bunch of fights in the stands there. So I think these Mexicans don't even come to watch it; they just come to fight. So I don't know whether they're having a go at the British guys or. So it always happens when the fight starts as well, like the main event. So it's probably gypsies, like Mexicans.
Mexican gypsies, Christ!
No, not Mexicans versus gypsies.
Oh right, I don't think you're travelling support.
Oh, I'm sure there's a few Americans out there, or
of course there was a few
from
Dubai.
Like
Brits living out in America, but 70,000 Mexicans against like 1,000 Daves and
Tyson Fury's like, I'll back you in your backyard.
Put over. They're my boy. But no, I don't get it. What's the point? What is the point? I remember
fighting.
Obviously fighting, but like in the crowd fighting.
Like someone probably obviously said something, haven't they? It's like, come on, Billy.
What's the point in putting a show on like the AT&T? Like, there's just no point, is there? Really? Do you know what I mean? But no, I remember vividly when Tyson Fury fought that. I can't remember his name now.
Oh yes.
And then Tyson Fury just sitting on the ropes watching the fight. Yeah. It was like chairs going across everything. And Tyson Fury was just like jacked
the Royal Rumble behind him, like.
Yeah, literally. But no, it was. There'll always be crowd fights. There'll always be.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you something. That when I went boxing, I believe this was back in the day. When I went Javonta Davis versus what was it? Liam Walsh. That's his name. I remember in front of me. You remember? I don't know if I think I told you. I sat next to this bald geezer.
Well, a bloke
Who,
fell asleep on you.
yeah, that geezer, right? So we were there from the start, and there was a couple in front of us, and we pretty much were sitting there. You know, these four guys that came in and sat next to us, and I was sat next to this bald guy. One of the first things this bald guy does, right? He goes to the woman in front and starts dry humping her on the chair. And with his fucking with her boyfriend, like just like cuddling her next to her, and then they both turn around, and the guy stands up, throws a few fucking punches at him, and it's yeah, well, he threw a few, and I don't know whether it really happened, but yeah, and then his mates had to calm the bald geezer down. He was fucking, he must have been off his nut on some sort of drug. And he fucking fell asleep on my shoulder.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
And then when I had to go to the toilet, I had to just move my shoulder a bit, and he fucking nearly fell over.
I know you speak about it, but do you remember with the when we went to go see White Rivers and that bloke next to us looked exactly like Arthur Spilster, and he literally was asleep, and we had that.
He was just lying forward, weren't he?
They were a group of guys. Do you remember? There was a bloke, and he was it was every time the two fights. Let's jab right up, yeah. There we go. Go on, there we well done, mate. Well done. Oh my god.
God.
Boxing fans, one of a kind, mate. You get some right dickheads, but you get some right people who
are right entertaining, right?
Yeah, he's entertaining, 100%. 100%. But moving on from the Boxing card. Bit sidetracked there. Tommy McCarthy. I miss it. Miss going boxing. But anyway, we've got Tommy McCarthy for the. He's fighting Alexander Jur. I think his name is Jur. Jur. It might be pronounced, differently, but
Yeah.
We love butchering names.
No, we do.
European Cruiserweight title that is for. You know a bit about Tommy McCarthy, didn't you, Fred?
I know of him. Yeah, I mean, he's not really stood out that much. He's kind of
he's not a household name.
No, he's one of them that I think will go around. Just fight anyone really. He lost to Richard Riakporhe, but Riakporhe's a good little fighter.
Yeah.
Still undefeated as well, so he's got that with him. But no, Tommy McCarthy's, what is it, light heavyweight, did you say?
Cruiserweight.
Yeah, so he's up there. Fought a few, fought around Europe a bit, and hopefully he can bring the European Cruiserweight title back.
Hopefully, yeah, that'd be an interesting one to see. To top the card off, to start the card, we'd be saying, but to top our what we're saying about the card off, you have Dalton Smith versus Lee Appleyard for the English super lightweight title. I remember we went to see, obviously, the White Rivers card, and I remember seeing Dalton Smith, and he fought this journeyman, but the hand speed on the bloke, honestly, it's ridiculous. I remember watching him thinking, his hand speed's brilliant. So I tip him for big things. So I think he's going to pull through this. The Appleyard, I've seen his record; it's okay, but whether Dalton Smith can pull it off, we shall see. That's for the English super lightweight title.
He's a good little fighter.
He's a brilliant little fighter.
And Appleyard, I know of him. He's a decent little opponent, but I don't say they're not on his level, are
they? Nah. I wouldn't say they're on his level, but as we've said, weirder things have happened. And be an interesting card. And see what happens. Moving on, Jake Paul takes Mayweather's hat I've got down here.
Got your hat.
Oh my! He got it tattooed on him.
Yeah, he started selling merch. It was the most.
What a belly! We run a poll on our Instagram. If you don't follow us on Instagram, our Instagram is HF_media group. We run a poll on there, and it was like I put well, obviously I put up a poll on there saying with the fight and saying who likes what do you think of Jake Paul? And
Mm.
1% got I like him.
Every man and
And
their
the other
dog started voting.
99% was literally like I think it was like it must have been about 50 or 60 other people who had voted what a dick. Like just he's one of them people that he knows he's a dickhead, but he loves it because he loves the attention, he loves the money, and it's a business end for him. If he started being a normal person, people would be like, okay, like he's irrelevant.
Yeah,
But the
he's no
fact,
longer the entertainment factor, is he?
yeah, the fact that people don't like him is it's his selling point. Do you know what I mean? It's his USP.
Yeah.
And credit to him, he's making a shit ton of money for people disliking him, but some of the stuff he does, you just do think he's a right wanker. Like I don't
Well,
like
have you seen
anyway,
that video of him with Dubois? No, not Dubois. God, Daniel Cormier.
No, not. I think I've seen bits and pieces.
He went to UFC the last event.
Oh yeah, I have. Yeah, I've seen it.
And Cormier was there, and he said, "Was it Jake or Daniel Cormier?" I think Cormier said if he ever sees him, he'll slap him up. So he turned up, and then he didn't do anything, obviously. But he's definitely getting in the minds of everyone in the sport.
I just want to see someone knock him out, like someone like Tommy Fury. He battered the shit out of him. But
we might see Floyd Mayweather, Jake Paul soon, to be honest.
I don't know,
because I remember he was saying that he's thinking of fighting them both in the same night. I mean, obviously, he probably won't, but that'd be brilliant to see.
Mate, to be fair, like I will probably watch it, but I personally don't like Floyd Mayweather either. Yeah, brilliant boxer, amazing, but outside the ring, what a pillock, absolute belling.
Like how many times he's done? He's been done about 6 times for beating his wife.
Did you see I think they were standing up, him and Logan Paul, and he was like,
and
he said
he's
something
51
like
and 1.
Yeah, he said something like, didn't he? He said what happened out in Japan, and then Logan Paul went, well, what happened to your wife? He went off.
Yeah,
but mate, Mayweather looks homeless, doesn't he? Have you seen his hair?
Yeah, he does look a bit rough. See, he looks
like he's he reminds me of the people who were just selling them booklets down at the local shopping centre. You know what I mean?
Never been there, but
no. Do you know that people like you even in London, like you walk past, it'll be like they'll be like
local
crackheads
like
that. Yeah, but they'll be like these like pink high-vis like jackets or something like that.
Yeah.
But they'll be trying to sell these things, and you literally just look at them, and I'll be getting in your face, and like, yeah, go on, take one. But
I do.
No, but no, I mean, as I said, I don't really like either fighter, but you know what's going to happen. Mayweather's going to take him to school, I would have thought. Or
hopefully it happens.
Knocked him out.
Yeah, well, no, I don't know about that, but he fought that Japanese guy, didn't he?
Yeah, that was another weird one.
It was at New Year's Eve, wasn't it?
That was the start of it all. I think it was the start of it all. That's exhibitions and that. It's a joke, mate. I think it's a joke.
Was it after the McGregor fight? I think McGregor fight really kicked it off because that was just like
probably, yeah. Okay, fair enough.
It was around the same time of him, and then the YouTubers started boxing, didn't
they? it's all come from Joel Weller and Malfoy.
Theo Malfoy,
Theo Baker, going into some amateur ring in Brighton
and taking a knee,
having it out, and then all the Paul brothers are going involved. Christ. But no, it's selling the fight, but
it ain't going away.
No,
it's gonna be
nothing. But let's get back to some real boxing. Touching on last Friday, Liam Smith suffered a unanimous point decision in Russia to Magomed Kurbanov. He looks like a bit of an hard nut, didn't he? That Magomed Kurbanov.
Tough-handed.
He was a good fighter though. He was.
He was.
He was. It's a weird fight because they were both landing, but Kurbanov was landing the more powerful and the more.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people said that he's been robbed but I wasn't too sure. I had it Cabano by a round or so. I thought both did well. Thought both did rounds, like they were tight rounds, but I just felt like he might not have been the busier at all times, but he was just the most powerful and the most damage, doing the better work. I thought when kind of he was landing a lot of exchanges, or in the exchanges, whereas Liam Smith was kind of Liam Smith. It is Liam Smith. He was kind of missing more often than not, whereas Cabano kind of won or hit everything on target.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. And going back to obviously, you said that there was a bit of uproar whether he won it or he didn't. But what was your take on Chisora Parker? Did you think Chisora got robbed? Because I certainly didn't. I thought Parker won the fight.
I thought it was either. I don't think he got robbed. I think that's one thing. I had it the first 4 rounds Chisora. I had it probably either a draw or Chisora by 1 round, to be honest. So I thought but it depends on how you kind of score it, because Chisora was just the busier, whereas Chisora Parker was just the busier, whereas Chisora was just looking for them right hands, left hands, and then grab. So it was a bit, it's a bit could have gone either way, but I can see why Parker got it as such. I thought Chisora won the last round, which gave it to him. That's what I thought.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah, as I said, I thought Parker won the fight and didn't get robbed, as in such. But everyone has their opinions, don't they?
Yeah.
To round off the podcast, I always give you a little question. We're going to stay on the topic of Saunders Canelo. Well, kind of. What would you say the worst injury you've seen in a fighter? It's in boxing, not UFC. It'd be easy, but obviously it's a boxing podcast. So, what would you say the worst? You've seen an injury. I thought, that must hurt. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So you say about the UFC, that happens quite a lot in the UFC. You kind of think, fucking hell, that's kind of, serious. It's difficult because, the worst one. I've seen a few recently. It was the Japanese fighter underneath the. I think it was Japanese fighter. He was fighting his first matchroom card, and his opponent dislocated his shoulder. That was recently, and then you also had, what was his name? There was another fighter. Can't think of his name. I think it was a Golden Boy show. It was the main event. I can't remember who the fighter was. It was like one of them both. Was it Diaz? No. Jojo? No, it wasn't Jojo Diaz. It was someone else. No, it wasn't Herring. Trying to think through all the fights I made now, but there's been a few recently. But the worst one, it's difficult because you got Dubois. That was quite a bad one, but then again he did kind of go down.
It doesn't have to be recently. It can be like.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I remember there was one from back in the day. Didn't he get? There was a geezer who had a cut on the back of his head. My memory's fucking working today.
Josh Kelly.
No, that was quite a gruesome one, but I can't think of it. There's a few old school ones that I can see, but I just can't think of their names. But I might as well go with Billy Joe Saunders because that looked gruesome. And I can't think of any other names of because I can see them, but I just can't think of them. What about you?
I will always go for. So it might have been his last fight, but it was Arturo Gatti, and he.
No, I was going to say Gatti had one, didn't
he? He split his lip, right? I'll get if you can put a photo up on the podcast at this point, and he's half of his lips literally it's like hanging off, and I don't know how like there's also a photo of like he got knocked down, but you can see his blood just spewing from his lip, like he got up and just wanted to fight on. I'm thinking, mate, like Are you mental? Like, but that was the fighter he was. Brilliant fighter he was. But that's got to be honourable mentions. Kevin Mitchell when he fought Jorge Linares, when he had that hematoma and that cut on his eye. I don't know if you've seen that. That was pretty gruesome.
Oh, I'll tell you what. One, what's his name? Evander Holyfield against Mike Tyson.
Yeah,
he got his ear bit off.
It was an injury, but it weren't really caused by a punch. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know. Yeah, but still
there's a couple of hematomas. Hakeem Ratman, when he fought Lennox, I think it was Lennox Lewis. Mate, there's been so many crazy ones. But
most of them are when the kind of eye bulges out, isn't it?
Yeah. 100%. Every British one was quite bad, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was quite bad. But that's the risk you run when you're boxing. Multiple blows to the head, etc. But that is where we're going to take up to today. Thank you all for listening. If you've made it up to this point, congratulations. I don't think many people do. So thank you for listening and putting up with us the whole way through. But nevertheless, we'll be back next week with another podcast. Make sure to subscribe, like, and follow us on our Twitters and Instagrams. HF_media group. I think is that both the Instagrams?
HF_media group, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, back next week with another one. I'll catch you then. See you later.